Hey there, Craig Cunningham, your Santa Fe Realtor here, and I've been doing a couple of videos on the types of architectural styles and building materials and everything that we use here in Santa Fe. And I wanted to talk about probably the most important thing that you need to know if you're a homeowner in Santa Fe or thinking of buying a home, and also during the inspection process, and that is the roof. The majority of the roofs in Santa Fe are flat roofs, and so they're built in a variety of different ways, and you really need to know what type of roof you have, and you always want to have that roof inspected by a roofing professional to give you an opinion if you're in the process of buying a house. So, flat roofs, first of all, aren't really flat, or at least they better not be, because they have to slope so that the water will run off the roof and not collect in pond, where it could sit and then cause leaking into the substrata parts of the roof and into the ceilings and into the house. So it should be sloping appropriately, and a roofer will be able to tell this right off the bat. And then it's going off into the canales, which we talked about in the other video. The canales are the Spanish term for the downspouts, the wooden downspouts that come off the side of the house. They're both an architectural feature and the way that water comes off the roof. Sometimes now in newer houses, they'll just go ahead and put on the regular drainage systems and downspouts, or you might have a canale with downspout. But anyway, it's critical that the roof slope appropriately. Then roofs here are made out of some different materials. One that is time tested, and it's actually on my roof, and the roof is 25 years old, and we keep just getting it maintained once a year, and it's still golden. And that is called modified bitumen, and that is an asphalt type structure that is on the roof, and it comes in pieces and then it's all seamed together, and it really works quite well. It's probably the least expensive type of roof that you could have, but there are two other types of roofs that are now much more popular, and one of them is TPO, and that is something propylene, and it is a material, a rubbery material that comes in sheets, and you lay it down on the roof, and then you seam the pieces together, and then they run up against the parapets, which is another term. And the parapets are when you're looking at a house in Santa Fe, you don't see the roof, you see the parapet, the side part, and so the roof material goes up to the parapet and up a little bit so that it doesn't leak, and then that's how a TPO roof is on. The other is a spray foam type of roof, and basically what it is they just get on there with this type of material that sprays onto the roof, so it's one uniform thing, and then they also then go up the parapets as well. And it's important too, when you're doing the roofs, to make sure that everything is done correctly up to the parapets, and then also onto the canales, so that everything is draining properly. The one thing that you don't want in a roof is, if you're doing an inspection, discover that it's an older roof and it has this material called pumice. Pumice, was used to absorb, but it absorbs water, and the water can build up, and that ultimately can create leaks into the ceilings of your house, and heaven forbid, mold. So if you are looking at a house and it has a roofing material over it, and they believe it's pumice underneath it, that's something you really want to look for and negotiate for the removal of that, ideally, if you are buying a house that has that material, that type of material on it. Now, the other thing that I think is really important in owning a home in Santa Fe is to find a good roofing company that you can sign an annual contract with, and they're usually not very expensive. It can be under $1,000 a year, where they, during the beginning of the cold season, they walk the roof to see how everything did during the hot season, because things expand and contract, and then when the cold weather is over, to come back and see if anything happened when we had snow buildup or hail or just the contraction because of the cold weather. It's really worth the money to do that in Santa Fe, because you can, for a few $100s a year, if they find things, get it fixed before it becomes a problem. So, and if you do ever want to have a list from me of roofers that I think are good in town, that I've heard good things about, or I've actually experienced myself, I'd be happy to give it to you if you just send me a comment, or my other information will be there. You can reach out to me. So thanks again, and be be very careful when you're buying a house here about making sure that the roof is a good solid roof or can be easily repaired. Thanks so much.